with Counterpunch Boxing News. This is the Sunday night chat. Come one, come all. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday or Monday, wherever you are, because I know it's 7:49 here, so it's probably early in the morning across the pond. Nonetheless, the show will go on. Bars. You guys, when you come in, hit that like button, will you? And I will gladly give you a shout out. Tell me where you're at. I know where I'm at. I'm on the floor. And let's have some more. So, it's when the chat loads, when you guys come in, hit that like button, please. Hey, let's talk about some boxing, man. Let's talk about it. You know, I'm just being a lazy ass today. You know what I mean? Still getting over the COVID stuff. So I'm just hanging out, chilling out, getting a little claustrophobic to be fair. But the boxing news is still around. Inspector depressed. Yo, my guy, Counterpunch to you. What's up, brother? Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. It will elevate YouTube to do the things that they need to do each and every time I make a video. Chisora is the greatest boxer of all time. Facts. I don't know how factual that is. I can say he would probably fight anybody. And with the spirit that he has, that's the type of spirit that will save boxing. So I don't know about the best boxer. Hell no. But, you know, will he fight anyone? I think he would. Because, I mean, he's like one of those guys that truly have nothing to lose. Because a lot of people talk about what they don't care to do. And I don't care if I lose. I don't care to let the O go. I don't care about all that stuff. But at the end of the day, that's a lie. Okay? Because they close and turn down certain fights just due to where the fight will be. You know, oh, I'm not fighting on the zone. Oh, never that. I'm a PBC guy. I'm Showtime. I'm like, dude, you guys act like a fucking bunch of thugs or something. Like it's organized crime. All right? So, you know, that's the power of Heyman. Hit that like button for me. All 6 that's on the chat. Hit the like button. I don't know. These are bots or whatnot. Hit that like button so more people can tune in so we can turn on. Okay. So us Lucky 5, where we at today? What's the deal? Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Not a lot of his kind left in boxing. Well, that's true. There's not a lot of people like Derek Chisora that's down to fight anybody. But, you know, Chisora doesn't play any games, though. He wants to get paid. He understands he's a prize fighter. You know, that's him at the end of the day. Letting the chat load. Okay. We got 7 on the chat. All right. Where we at? Okay, let's bring up this conversation. We got a small number here. Derek Chisora and Tyson Fury. Do you guys think that fight is going to happen? Canelo versus Charlo. Hope the rumors are true. William, I heard about that shit. I mean, if so, where they gonna fight at? They gonna fight at 168? I'll say this though. Why wouldn't it happen? I mean, why wouldn't Canelo fight Charlo? I mean, if he decides to, obviously that's he is not going to move up because he's not going to expect Charlo to move to 175. AV Sounds, salute Kurt in the chat. Counterpunch to you, bro. I don't see him moving up. But, I mean, if he's going to fight those guys, he should fight them. Eddie Hearn got caught with his pants down. Yeah, that's some funny shit. But obviously that happened a few years ago or something shit. I just saw it. So now people are like, oh, that's clickbait bullshit. I'm like, dude, I have never seen that shit. So when I saw it, I posted it. Sue me. Don't kill the messenger, right? So, I mean, I just saw it. Never saw someone just strip Eddie Hearn down to his bare ass, as a prank. I never saw that, so sorry. But I understand I can't catch everything. So I was probably, back in those days, I was probably reporting something far more important. And I just happened to see it, Did I miss much? Hit the like button. Cameron Wilson, man, I just started 5 minutes ago. So no, you didn't. I want to see Canelo at light heavy. There are some really interesting fights there. Inspector, I inspect that is correct. Bars. I want to see Canelo at, okay, I already read that. Okay, Sydney, that's old. Yeah, okay. God is good to stress the mess. Okay. That be a big fight in Texas. Charlo tweeted he's going to super middleweight. Yeah. And actually, let's see. That be a big fight. I mean, I think it'll be a big fight. I mean, all he need to do is go to, they call it Jimmy's World, the biggest stadium there. At least Eddie took it with a smile. Yeah, he did. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. Good evening, Kurt. I hope I haven't missed much. I'm on the graveyard shift until 6 a.m. Work white. I'm chilling in the lounge area. You keep chilling in the lounge area, and we'll keep on counterpunching because, that shift can be boring, I believe. But if it, I don't know where you're at as far as like danger or drama or crime, but it can be sometimes boring. Lady Sean done dim season. Counterpunch to you, and I was actually about to send you a notification. What's up, my dons? Charlo told his own he would move up to 175. Don't see that happening. Well, I don't know, man. Jamal. Those guys did not know what battles meant, obviously. Everybody's waiting around for that big fight. Now I'm going to take that shit fight. I want that big fight over there because I'm trying to hold out for that. I get no notifications that you're live. No, nobody does, apparently. I mean, you think you got 26 people on here? You think that shit, and I think these... Charles Martin was in airplane mode. He shouldn't have got an 8 count. Where was the ref? Yeah, the ref was, he was tripping. Eddie is still a kid. Yeah, I mean, them guys are old. Hopefully it's on the zone, which is $1.99, and it's almost 2 a.m. here. That's nice. But everybody wants it to be on the zone now. AV Sounds, floating rip shot. Charles Martin looked like, oh, shoot Canelo in the crowd. Yeah, I was just lucky to see you streaming. Yeah, that's why everybody needs to hit the like button. Nikki, you're so right. We only got 24 people in here. So if like half of them can't hit the like button, I don't know. I mean, haters must love to just watch me talk. Fuck his like button. Fuck his like button. I don't give a shit. I ain't hitting that. No. No, I mean, that is true. A lot of people, you see, just walk around to see what your content's going to be. Seeing if you say anything to the point where, something for them to hate you about, turn you in. I just shared it on my community. It's the floating community shot. Yeah. I never heard that shit before in my life. That's why you know Lennox Lewis is old school. Only 6 likes. Yeah, it's strange. It's crazy. Yeah, they view it though. They hate her, but they watching. Oh yeah, some of them. Kurt, why did Luis push Charles Martin? Ricky, Luis Ortiz pushed Charles Martin because when the fight was stopped, Charles Martin walked over there and said that's some fucking bullshit. Now Luis Ortiz ain't like don't have a PhD in a PhD in English and all, but everybody knows bullshit. Right? They know bullshit. So you seen a guy bleeding out his mouth, bullshit, bullshit, you know, he gonna shove him. Luis Ortiz, I mean, call him what you want, man. The dude ain't gonna take how many times have you seen Luis Ortiz like in a physical confrontation back down from anybody? That motherfucker's an old Cuban uncle. You think an old Cuban uncle like that is gonna let somebody step to them? Anybody? Do the Manny impression. Weighs 1520. I like to address everyone that likes politics and people to vote for me in the Philippines next year because I want to change the world. Thank you. Even though you're not Filipina, I thank you for your support because we need everyone and God loves everyone too. And I love everyone except gay people. I mean, I love them too. Nah, you didn't say that. I think that Dillian White would give Fury a very tough fight, probably the hardest fight by far of Fury's career. So Fury's management want to duck that big payday fight like AJ or Usyk. Man, look, you don't know boxing, and you got one guy has been fighting the same 1 or 2 dimensional fucking guy for the last 2-3 years. If he gets beat the fuck up, people, that's what happens. Okay? And you've heard it first. I said that shit about Teofimo. I said that shit about Joe Joyce. I said that shit about Alexander Usyk. I said that shit about a lot of these fighters. Now, I'm not always right. I'm not pretending to be. But I'll tell you this. I know my shit, and I'm telling you, this is boxing. Okay? That facade, that persona, that perception, that shit that thinks, oh, man, you see Tyson Fury beat up Wilder? Oh, he can clearly beat Joshua now. I'm like, when the fuck did Joshua have anything to do with that guy? You know. It's crazy. Cisco Perez, counterpunch to you. Boxing Bell, Bulgaria. Greetings from Bulgaria. Follow your boxing thoughts. Sounds very logical in your boxing terms. Your thoughts about White versus Fury will happen. Just got through talking about it, brother. What's up, fellows? How's everybody doing? There's Bear Shit Bara Elohim. Counterpunch to you. Manuel Lucero. What are your thoughts about Canelo fighting Charlo in Cinco de Mayo? I think it's a good fight. Charlo gets to prove, you know, who he is. He gets his shot. He gets his payday. You know. So, is Fury actually 6'9"? I don't know. Maybe he was before he started shrinking. White is one of my favorites. Whether he beats Fury or not, you know he's coming for you. Yeah. But see, most importantly, Fury's handlers knows that Dillian White ain't a pushover fighter. He's not a bullshit fighter. He's not a touch-up. He's not a tune-up. He's none of those things. He's the next challenge. They know that. See, Anthony Joshua was the poster child for everything that could possibly go wrong with somebody that's undefeated and that's on top. And regardless of what people say, he was that poster child, and nobody wanted to be like that. Nobody wanted to be like Anthony Joshua. That's a nightmare. What Eddie Hearn went through, and that motherfucker was like, oh, God, bloody hell. Remember that? When Andy Ruiz was beating the shit out, nobody wanted to do that. They didn't want to suffer that same burden. Okay? They didn't want that. And Dillian White go out there and beat the shit out of Fury. People are going to be like, what the fuck? Styles make fights. But then people will be humbled and they will calm down. Like the intelligent ones. The ones that are still ignorant will say this: Fury's a bum. You know, then they'll start talking shit at him. Guitars for you. What's up, Kurt? Counterpunch from Philly. Philadelphia in the house. Been to Philly a lot of times, my brother. A lot of times. Yo, that's really good. Oh, you mean Manny Pacquiao? Yeah, Manny Pacquiao is a beast. I can fight Floyd instead of the rich YouTube guy. I think he fights small fighters because he is bully. Why don't you bully me? Why don't you bully me? I am in shape. I am bigger. I am faster. I am stronger than everybody he fight. But he don't want to fight me. I had shoulder problems when I fought Floyd. And he never want to fight me. He make all this money off me. He didn't want to fight me. Ortiz versus Martin, a good or bad stoppage in your eyes? I think it's a good stoppage, Hendrick. I didn't at first until I saw it again. Now, I was mad when I saw this shit because I'm like, okay, 2 knockdowns, and they kind of stopped that a little quick. But I'm with Manny Robles, though. Now, Manny was like, well, shit, why didn't you stop it when the motherfucker stopped and took a break? When he, you know what I mean? Why didn't he stop it then? You know? White is a little washed up. Fury going to be more conditioned. Well, I mean, White better be conditioned also, Nicholas. Kurt, I'm really not trying to laugh so loud. I probably will wake up my patients in the care home. Oh, God, Nikki, that reminds me. Are they older? Because, you know, older patients and shit, they don't take that. And I know, like one day it was like 1 a.m. and I was in Austin, right? And I was walking and I was talking to a friend of mine and I had these fucking buds on. So, you know, when you have buds on, you don't really hear how long you talk. That's why people that can't fucking hear for shit talks real loud. Hey, man, what are you doing? You're like, dude, can you fucking hear yourself? Well, probably, obviously not. So I'm walking in my neighborhood. I'm walking and I'm talking to a friend of mine and we're chopping it up, talking this shit. I'm venting, laughing or whatever. This lady, I'm walking past this like, it looked like an apartment complex, but it was really like a senior living, right? So the senior living lady, all I heard was, hey! I looked. I said, what the fuck is that? Hey! I looked up and it was this lady. We're trying to sleep up here. I'm like, oh shit. Pardon me to hell. Sorry now. Good day then. I never. So yeah. They will get mad at you. Lady done dim season. Kurt, do Floyd and then Andy Ruiz, please. Floyd and Andy Ruiz, please. Cut E. All right, lay E. I will do exactly that. Let's see. Floyd. You mean you want Floyd to be talking to Andy? It's Floyd. Okay. This is Floyd, right? This is Floyd addressing. The rumors about being broke. First of all, I want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank Al Heyman for making this possible. What did that have to do with we ask? First of all, I want to thank Al Heyman. And as far as Logan Paul goes, Logan Paul is going to get his money. Floyd Mayweather got money. If he want his money, he going to have to wait. He going to have to wait until the numbers drop. I ain't got to pay nobody shit until the money shop. This the Floyd Mayweather show. I move whenever I want to move. I move whenever I want to move. This is the Floyd Mayweather show. Said I'm broke. He said I'm broke. Look, I got 600,000. Look, I got 400,000. I got $1 million on me, baby. And Andy, I just want to fight the best fighters for the most money. The banking accounts not looking the same. So I seen the Chris Arreola check. I hate to pay those on my fucking taxes. My taxes was due, and that check was bullshit. I'm ready to leave and fight Anthony Joshua. I can replace him instead of Usyk. Mafia. Tai. What's up, brother? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Who do you think Hrgovic will fight next? Honestly, Zhang seems to the only one who wants it bad enough. Not just to give it to him. I've watched a couple of his fights. Not the best, but I like him. No, he's not. He's just undefeated. He ain't been fighting, you know. Those guys should understand what level they're on. I've been saying this for many years. You got these guys that get frustrated, and they get to the point that they feel like they deserve a particular shot with a particular fighter. Okay? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Okay? So, who do you got, Kurt, AJ, and Usyk too? Majestic TV, right now, Usyk. I mean, you know, we'll get back to that, but Joshua can't get it together. You know, I mean, the way he's talking, I think Joshua should stop fucking talking. Just stop talking and start doing more training and focus on the game plan. Unless it's like some slick shit, you know, he's just talking all out and about and having people think, you know, that he's out of it. You know, maybe is that his mental play? Is that his, you know, is that the end game? Like, you know, my team has to be good and oversee me. And I can only be accountable for myself. I'm like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Lady Shan, you're welcome. Kurt, random one. Who's the GOAT? James Bond to you. I think Daniel Craig just took it. I don't know, man. You know, I'm a Sean Connery fan, so I guess I'm kind of biased. Yes, like Dillian White. Zhang is whack. He needs to retire. No, nobody's going to retire until they have until they get a good fight. Dark Knight. Nobody cares about your spamming hate except, I don't know who the hell Dark Knight is. A White ducked the AJ rematch for $5 million, which is the same amount as he's ducking Fury for now. And and if that's what Eddie offered White to fight AJ, then Eddie knows what White is worth. Well, that wasn't the case, okay? Dark Knight. The case was it wasn't the amount of money that he was receiving for the second fight with AJ. It was the amount of money that he would receive if he beat AJ. Okay, so you have to know what's all going on, okay? And that's why, because, you know, Dillian White, he didn't want to end up like Andy Ruiz, because when Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, there was an uproar about the money, because it was like, hey, well, you could only get more money, you know, and what happened, and this is what happened with Andy. The whole idea of Andy fighting Anthony Joshua was contingent on him getting paid more money. See, he got $6-7 million the first fight. Well, he wanted more money the second fight, which the contract was like, no, you don't deserve more money. You only get a certain amount of money due to the first contract. Well, the fix was in, because what Al Heyman did was, well, we could make a fucking undisputed fight without Anthony Joshua, because he doesn't technically have the belts, you know. So that's what happened with that. What's up, KD chat? How we doing? Venus Crazy. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. You grow up Man, spamming BS we've seen a million times from other haters. Yeah, you making no sense. AJ, stop showing us your training. AJ, stop talking. Kurt ducking questions. What questions did I duck? I just answered your question. No. Dillian White is number one heavyweight. So basically, White is ducking the fight in a career high payday. That's the only way you can look at it, really. No, that's not the only way you can look at it. You compared him to what AJ and Eddie offered him. The reason he didn't take that match was because of the second fight, possibly because in the stipulations he wouldn't get the lion's share of the money if he beat AJ. That's why he didn't take the fight. Now there were other reasons as well, like why he said that he didn't, like he wasn't enough time. That was bullshit because you have to stay ready like that. That was one of the reasons he got placed on the redemption list. But he's the only guy that actually got himself off the redemption list as of now. White already ducked AJ and Wileen. Well, AJ we just talked about, and Wileen, I wanted to see that fight because I was upset. You know what I mean? Because I was upset with really Dillian White the whole year. Why? Because Dillian White thought it was cool to come fight a guy named Jermaine Franklin. I never heard of that motherfucker. I never heard of Jermaine Franklin. And I seen him, he was what Mike Tyson would call a short, pudgy dude. Kurt, will White get if he accepts the 80? I mean, he'll get fucking 20% of what it is. And if Tyson Fury decides not to fight him, he just won't fight him. But I tell you this. I think Tyson Fury will drop that belt because they already talked about it. Can you guys see my comment? Alan's so amazing. I didn't see it, bro. Sorry. No, I didn't. White ducked Pulev long ago. He ducked Ortiz 2 years ago. Renee Padilla, Uncle C in the building. I think all the top heavyweights should deserve a good payday for any fights they have because they have been there been there for a reason. They're worth more also to deserve it, bro. Well, let me say this because I don't believe that either. I think some people are in that position because they haven't fought anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's weird when certain people start fighting, certain people start dropping off. But if they never fight, they never drop off. Carlos, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Uncle C, baby, where he at? Uncle C has been summoned. I give him a damn call. Call him on the phone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got some mixed feelings about Uncle C. Some people like, he's terrible, mate. He's fucking bloody terrible. Some people like him. Like, I like that motherfucker. So, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Thoughts on Gallo Estrada versus Chocolatito, the trilogy. No ducking, no lying, no racial narratives, no social media banging or TikTok dancing. Well, Chocolatito, he was on top for a while. Strangingness. What's the WBC stalling for, I wonder? Or are they just being pricks? No, they're stalling for a reason. And I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to let enough time go by in order for Tyson Fury to find another opponent. Kurt, have you noticed that people give White such a hard time and his resume is second to Joshua's? He can take a couple easy fights, in my opinion. Well, Matthew, he can, but why would he? You know what I mean? That's not his MO. Because, see, once we start saying, because this is what happens, oh man, he deserves a couple good fights or a couple easy fights. Well, that means when certain people see that, that gives them that card to pull as well. You know, so you can't be no respecter of person when it comes to tune-up fights. You know, it's just at how much do you get tired of the one person doing the same thing? Like Gervonta Tank Davis. When will we see him fight someone like somebody that we know? I mean, that we really know. But I tell you something that's slick that they've done over at the PBC. They put Mario Barrios in with Keith Thurman because, you know, they're trying to make Gervonta's name mean more. Because, see, we didn't really know Mario Barrios. I mean, I seen him fight a couple times, you know, on undercards. I did see him a couple times. But who was he really? Was he the face of boxing? Was he regarded as one of the kings? No. He was an up-and-coming guy that they used as a pawn, right? And they threw Tank in there with him because they needed somebody to elevate Tank. But nobody really heard of him. So when Tank stopped him, you've heard of him. So then they put that same guy in with Keith Thurman. Now he's known, and it makes Gervonta Tank Davis look a lot better with his win. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. Jake Paul will beat all heavyweights. All right. Kurt, what do you say about boxing being dead? I think fall of 2021 had some of the best fights in a long time. Canelo, AJ, Wilder, Fury, Tank, Kambosos, Haney, and all fought. Yeah, they all fought. The only problem is they didn't all fight each other, especially the last guys you mentioned. Kambosos, Haney, Tank. None of those guys fought each other. Parker, White, Ruiz, Ortiz will stay stuck in heavyweight. Purgatory. A win with damn, these fucking fonts are so small. Okay. All right. Well, what did the fuck I just do? Sorry, I just got a new phone, so I'm trying to figure out how to work it. That shit enlarged. Wow. Okay. Let put White versus Ruiz, easy fight. That's not an easy fight. Ruiz ain't gonna want that fight. No, I want 5 million or more. I'm not gonna fight. You know. And you know, and what's a trip? Andy Ruiz and Dillian White would be a good fight. And now that I see Andy Ruiz could get knocked out by White. But we all know White can get knocked out by anybody that can throw an effective uppercut. So that would be a good fight. And I think Andy knows, like, I can't lose again. See, Andy's like this. Andy said, you know what? I had two of the biggest fights in my whole life, probably the biggest fights that I ever will have in my whole life. So at this point of my career, I can't afford to lose to anybody because if Andy Ruiz lost, let's say he fought Dillian White last year and he lost, nobody would give a fuck about Andy Ruiz right now. Nobody. Because Anthony Joshua reclaimed his stardom back on him, got his stuff, took all the belts back. Then Dillian White came, you know, and fought him as like leftovers and beat the shit out of him. then what? You know what Andy Ruiz would be like? He would be exactly like Joseph Parker. Remember how Joseph Parker, his shit just dropped after he fought Dillian White? And he fought Joshua and Dillian White on the same year, mind you. What do I think about Caleb Plant versus Jamal Charlo? I think it's a good fight. Curtis Charlo and Canelo happening. I don't know. But I mean, if he fought, I don't know. I mean, the question is, does Al Heyman want Canelo Alvarez again? Can he afford him? What is he gonna get some more of Floyd's money to pay this motherfucker? I want my money, you motherfucker. I want my money. Eddie, dile a Eddie, yo quiero mi dinero en este momento. I want my money, motherfucker. Jaguar Tama, counterpunch to you, brother. Blessings. White don't even deserve 20%. He got starched by AJ. Fought a few nobodies, concussed Parker with a headbutt to win. Had life and death with Chisora, was juiced up for Rivas, and then got KO'd by a 42-year-old. Damn! Big A came in with that counterpunch in that ass. Damn, tell me how you really feel. Did y'all guys just hear that? Wow. I can hear Big A saying that shit, though. White don't deserve no 20%. He got starched by AJ, fought a few nobodies, got concussed with Parker with a headbutt to win. Then he had a life and death with Chisora. He was juiced up for Rivas. Everybody know that. Then he got KO'd by a 42-year-old. That's fucking bar tales. That's the shit you be drunk and you had about 4 or 5 beers and a couple shots and somebody mentions Dillian White, right? You know what I mean? That's some shit that Big A would say. Fuck Dillian White. That motherfucker, that clumsy motherfucker. Shit, hit him with uppercut. That mother, he gonna give out. Yeah, he gonna give out. It's crazy. Oh man, people, and it's the way people deliver something and not actually what they're saying that dictates a lot of things, that makes things believable. Now, the strange thing about what Big A said, though, what part of that paragraph that in that rant that he said that was actually a lie, that you could say you're lying. You could say you don't agree with it. But could you say you're lying? Where White goes from here, I don't know. White got knocked out by an old washed up Povetkin, struggled against Wok, got dropped by Rivas, got gifted win in the first Chisora fight, had to hold on for the whole 12th round against Parker. Do you see what I'm saying? Here's the Dark Knight. And it's how you deliver it. It is did anything that he said, though, and this is the weird thing, was anything he said, was that a lie that the Dark Knight said? That's the weird thing. No, man, I'm just a calm gypsy laying in bed, stating facts. I hear you. You know, you might be at the fucking bar. Shit. But I mean, you know, okay, here's the thing. Did Dillian White get knocked out by an old Povetkin? Okay. Now, did White get knocked out by Povetkin? Yes. But was he old and washed up? No. I don't think he was old and washed up. So it's a way you word things, though. Struggled against Wok. He did struggle against Wok. I mean, he struggled to do something that he should have been able in shape to do. Was he losing to Darius? No. But because of his physical condition and what he was in, the condition he was in, he wasn't able to do any of that shit. But he got dropped by Rivas. He did. He got a gift win against Chisora. Well, I mean, that's debatable. You know what I mean? Uh-oh. Here we go. Here's more. Duck Wallin, and his best knockout was the Lucas Brown, who Dave Allen finished with a body shot. Yeah. Yeah, look, it's when you start going down and ripping away that onion, what is behind that onion when you get to the middle? Nothing. Over here in the UK, Dillian is a nobody. Everyone over here thinks he's way over the hill. He's a horrible fighter. Canelo, horrible fighter. Horrible fighter. That's it. Horrible fighter, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out, please. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, damn. White sells, though. Fury needs a good opponent to sell. Nobody knew he's fighting Wallin. Fury can't sell out a stadium with anyone else right now. That makes Inspector depressed. That's true. I mean, who if it's not that? You see Logan Paul knocking out Tyron Woodley, Timber. Yeah, I seen that shit. It was sad. Hey, Kurt, do you think Logan really didn't get paid? I mean, he wouldn't be saying that shit if he didn't. And then if here's the deal, if he said he didn't get paid and he did, that's a lawsuit because that's defamation of character. You understand? Especially when Floyd, I paid his ass. I paid Logan Paul. I paid his mom. I paid his daddy. I paid his cousins. Everybody talking about AJ, the landlord. If he the landlord, if he the landlord in the UK, I'm definitely the landlord over here in the USA. Shit, you better get that shit right. I don't owe him nothing. I gave him his money. Now, if he think he's supposed to get paid more, I don't know what to tell him. He need to read the contract and bring his fat ass lawyers around. He need to hire Bob Arum. He need to hire Bob Arum because obviously he don't know how to literally he don't know how to read a contract. Can you read the contract? Fuck you. Chisora would be a better opponent for Fury. Here's the thing. I don't think so. If we're talking about somebody over the hill, that's Chisora. Chisora will fight everyone, but let's be real, man. Chisora should have quit 3 fights ago. He made a good account of himself when he did fight, but that's just heart and showed his true grit as a fighter, as a warrior. But don't mean he should be in there. Chisora's a lot older than Dillian White. Chisora's like 38 and some shit will be 39. Like what? Like he's not a Klitschko. He wasn't dominant to the point where he was like late in his 30s. He's been beaten 10 fucking times. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. Like people say, oh, well, Chisora's a better fight. Well, are you saying that because Tyson Fury once named him as an opponent? Or are you saying that because you really believe that? And if you do believe that, what's the problem if you think he had a close fight with Derek Chisora, Dillian White has? What's the problem with Dillian White getting his shot at Tyson Fury? Like I don't want to make things easy for Tyson not to fight Dillian White. I'm not saying that. You know, I think the easiest way to go is going to be chosen when it comes down to the management team of Tyson Fury. I do think that. So if that fight don't happen, you remember you heard it. Well, they'll drop that belt, and then guess what? They will not just give it to Dillian White. They will make him fight for it. And guess who the fuck it would be? Deontay Wilder. How Roy Jones and Al Bernstein commentary. How was it meeting True School Sports? He is really short. Well, man, True School Sports was really cool. You know, you see a lot of people at those functions and stuff like that. They're not always the nice. Some people are. I mean, you know, I was hanging out with Michelle Joy Phelps. She was real cool. Real beautiful lady. She looks a lot fucking darker in real life. I thought I was looking at an Indian, bro. Like and then she's like, whatever. It's in her heritage. But then she looked a lot darker. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You know what I mean? Because you just see a pretty white woman. You know what I mean? That like an attractive commentator. You know, like an anchor woman almost. And but then you see her, you're like, damn, who the fuck is this chick? But you know it's her. But it's like, dude, were you in the sun for like 4 hours? straight. You know what I mean? But no, real good people. Nobody was really a dick though, but it's still a rat race because everybody's trying to get their footage, everybody's trying to get their shot at their interview. So you didn't have a lot of that camaraderie. So that was just kind of like a rare thing. When I seen True School Sports and I seen him, like I used to watch him years ago, and I noticed he had a big or a good sized platform at the time where I started watching him. So I always thought he was a cool cat, and he hustles and grinds and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. I want to see Luis Ortiz versus Del Boy. That could work. I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, if they offered Luis Ortiz $3 million, which the fight I want to see is Ortiz and White. The reason I want to see that is because that's a fight that didn't happen for strange ass reasons. If you notice how Eddie Hearn just all of a sudden dropped Luis Ortiz, I mean, an undefeated Luis Ortiz, right? Salute Kurt. Quick question. Which prospect, in your opinion, is more approved, Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz? Virgil Ortiz, definitely. Boots Ennis is that hungry, big ass welterweight that wants to prove himself by beating everybody. He's like the new school Errol Spence. I just hope he doesn't do what Errol Spence decided to do. Beat one name and just think that one name that builds your fame, and therefore you don't have to fight the people that want to fight you. See, Errol Spence at one point couldn't get any of those damn fights. He couldn't get the Danny Garcia fight. He couldn't get the Sean Porter fight. He damn sure couldn't get the Keith Thurman fight. He couldn't get any of those fights. That's why he went all the way to the UK to fight Kell Brook on the IBF side, because he wanted a strap. Ortiz and Ruiz, that is the fight. I mean, that's probably the best fight that could be made realistically, but how I see that going, I see Al Heyman trying to cash both of those fighters out for bigger fights. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, why fight each other when I know I can get Andy Ruiz probably with Wilder and Luis Ortiz probably with the winner of whoever wins out of whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a waiting while for Ortiz, and I feel bad for him. I always have, but what do you do about it? I'm not ready. Luis Ortiz, I'm not ready. He's 40. I'm going to wait till he's 50. Then I'll be ready to fight him because of my knee, even though the next day I was doing squats after my surgery. Bars. Hey, Kurt, wouldn't it be funny if Fury dropped the belt and Wilder beats White and then Fury and Wilder fought again? No, that wouldn't be too far off. No. Because if you guys can remember that what Tyson Fury said about Deontay Wilder, like not too long ago, do you guys remember what he said? Deontay Wilder will be a champ again, I'm sure of it. That's probably the way he does it. If they're playing boxing like that, they both should fucking get out of the sport. Tyson Fury retire and don't come back. because you're fucking the sport up. You dodging people to fight the same fucking guy because you know you can fight and beat the same fucking guy. And the irony of that is the only reason Wilder wanted to fight Tyson Fury again after he fought him the first time because he could believe he could beat him. Why? Because he dropped him twice and he almost got there if it wasn't for the count. So he thought in his mind, all I got to do is hit this son of a bitch one more good time like I did in the 12th round of my first fight, and then the rest is history. So I can beat the man that beat the man. So the lineal champ and all the other shit can go out the window. I'll still stay here proud and free with my overall WBC bars. That's what it was. So if we find out Tyson Fury doing that same shit just to redeem Deontay Wilder, and you can't get mad at Wilder after that because what? At least he fought White. What you'd be pissed off is like, well, why did he want to fight fucking White and he couldn't fight White? Right? You wanted Wilder to fight White, but you didn't want to fight White. So styles make fights, I'm telling you. And the first thing people say, White's a bum. See, he got beat by Deontay Wilder, so he clearly wouldn't have been beat by Tyson Fury, in which people do not understand what that means. Stop making excuses for American fighters. Okay, if Wilder starts road work and gets his cardio together so that he's not gulping water and breathing hard after the first round, he knocks out Fury. Well, that's the problem. He was doing too much. He gained too much weight. Okay, his muscles screamed oxygen because, he wasn't used to him doing all that dumb shit he was doing. Do you guys really think that shit was smart? Wilder was doing fucking bench presses. Instead of this motherfucker doing like cardio or getting his legs stronger with squats, this motherfucker's doing bench pressing like he in fucking San Quentin. And for people that don't know where San Quentin is, that's a prison in California. Like the prison legs. You ever heard of prison legs? Motherfucker got big ass upper body, little small ass legs because they always skip leg day because they're always worried about getting so big up top. That's the type of shit he was doing, man. That shit didn't help him. To get all that. He was too big anyway. That motherfucker's 20 pounds overweight. £20 overweight. Who is most likely to be pound for pound? Shakur, Haney, T.O., Ryan. T.O., no. Ryan, no. Shakur, maybe, and Haney, we'll see. But I don't see T.O. being pound for pound anything. I don't. Because as long as you're with people that you're going to be in denial with, you might as well start kicking it with Wilder. You know what they need to do? T.O. and T.O. Senior. Or should I say T.O. and T.O. Junior. They should get in the fucking time machine and go back to 2020 and hang out with Deontay Wilder. And just hang out with him. Or fuck, better yet, hang out with Broner in the year before that, 19. I beat that boy. You know I beat that boy. I beat him. No, the problem was he didn't do road work, bad cardio. All that shit was bad. He did dumb shit instead of the shit he's supposed to do. Everybody knows that. Wilder wouldn't train for that shit. He did a bunch of... I looked at Wilder go 12 rounds hitting the bag, punching on Malik Scott. You remember that? When Malik Scott's supposed to upchuck the water. Remember that shit? Well, if you seen, he got slower and slower fighting. And the question you ask yourself, how many times did they actually do that? How many rounds did they actually spar? Slim Reaper, hey Kurt, hope you're well, bro. Man, I'm doing. Prime Wilder was not able to take washed up Fury out in the first fight in 2018 at all stalling. I can tell you this though, that Wilder, which you call in his prime, because of how the size he was in, he was able to carry his power to the 12th round, and he was able to do the thing. And all that fucking missing he was doing. Think about all that missing that Wilder like missed with that right. Miss, Wilder, fucking Fury. All right, Kurt. I want to see Rice fight Wilder so he can get payday. That would be cool, but that ain't gonna happen. If Wilder ends up fighting Rice, dude, Wilder's done. That motherfucker needs to be on Friday Night Fight. I used to love, man, Friday Night Fights, bro. ESPN2, used to love it. This is Brian Kenny, and this is Max Kellerman. A fighter that I love to watch is Pernell Whitaker. Max Kellerman was in love with Pernell Whitaker so much that Pernell Whitaker himself was like, dude, please stop fucking talking about me. Kurt, do you think Al Heyman is a front for Mayweather promotion, and does he owe serious chatter? I mean, Ishmael Henry, that's what they say. There really is nothing Wilder could do to beat Fury. Yeah, he could. Knock him the fuck out. That's easy. Knock him out. Knock him out. Being that Fury is the last undefeated fighter of the three-headed dragon, which fighters would he need to fight to cement his legacy? Let's say he only has 2 or 3 more fights left in him. Easy. White, Joshua, Usyk. No more. Andy Ruiz hasn't done enough to even prove that he's there. So it can't be him. You know what I mean? Joe Joyce is still up and coming, which Joe Joyce is a dangerous fighter for anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sweet Pea. HBO Morales Barrera won the best fight ever. You know what, Wesley Gambill? That was on Friday Night Fights. No, I'm sorry. That was on Boxing After Dark. Ooh, I'm sorry. That was on Boxing After Dark. HBO Boxing After Dark had some of the best fights they had. Arturo Gatti used to headline that particular venue a lot. You know. Ortiz is going to avoid Ennis like the plague, not like COVID, like the plague, the Black Plague that knocked out millions in Europe in the 14th century. Wow, do you think Loma schools Haney? I don't know. I don't know about now. I don't know if Loma schools Haney now because I seen Haney and Haney didn't look the same. Joyce versus Frank Sanchez would be a good fight. Yeah, um, that would be a very good fight. I think Frank would have the edge in speed. I'm not sure about accuracy. I think he would have to keep moving to avoid Joe Joyce because, see, Joe Joyce is a guy that crowds you, invades you, pressures you, and he does it like he does it with overall simplicity. He comes like with a jab, right hand, and all that stuff. Um, I would love to see Joe Joyce and AJ. Well, the Dark Knight, they sparred a shitload of times. So my thing is now I know people are probably gonna get sick of me talking about sparring. All right, but um, I think that sparring is probably the last hope of seeing anything spectacular when it comes to the sweet science, headgear or not. I mean, when I think more sparring sessions should be recorded, and I think they should be recorded, and I think they should be documented. No, I never met Blue Blood Sports TV. I always like Joe Joyce. I like Joe Joyce too. Joe Joyce is kind of like a calm, laid back cat. I don't think he lets a lot of shit bother him. If he's kind of like if he was in this room, he'd probably just be quiet, just chilling. You know, you know. Hergovic looks a real prospect, but he's like a wooden. He's a little wooden with his movement, Kurt. Definitely a chance. Definitely a chance as a future champion. Joyce beat him as an amateur in a great fight of 5 rounds. They went at it that day. That's cool. What's cracking, guys and girls? YouTube effing sucks. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Hergovic versus Ruiz is a great matchup. I would like to see that because I want to see Ruiz challenged by another tall guy, but a tall, aggressive guy. I think that'll be cool. Kurt, I would pay to watch 3 rounds exhibition versus Blue Bud. I favor you though. Um, nah, I wouldn't want. I don't have any problem with him like that. I don't have any. You know, I don't have any problem with Blue Blood. I counterpunch anybody, but a lot of people think just because I counterpunch somebody, I have something against them. Certain people I don't like at all, but he is not one of them. Do you think El Rayo Venezuela is a good fighter? I have no idea who that is. A heavyweight that bangs that body religiously knocks Fury out. Well, he could. He would definitely give Fury problems. You know. Ashy Elbow. What's up, Kurt? Thoughts on PBC exec saying Spence and Crawford isn't pay per view worthy? Well, God. Who said that? Ashy Elbow. Who said that shit? I'd like to see Joyce beat a proven contender. Dubois hadn't done much. Well, I mean, don't get it twisted though, because Dubois had his claim. See, Dubois supposed to beat Joe Joyce. Then we would have probably been looking at Dubois. Dubois, sorry. My ass from Louisiana is talking like an idiot. Um, Dubois should have been. If Dubois would have beat Joe Joyce, Dubois would have been much further on. They would have been looking at Dubois versus Dillian White as a fucking eliminator or some shit like that. And you could hear old fish eyes. Well, if he gets past Daniel Dubois, I think that would be inappropriate for Dillian White. Why this arbitration and everything gets done and settled because I think Dubois knocks him spark out. he got rid of Joe Joyce, and I think after that, I think Anthony Joshua Usyk is a fight that's going to happen, and he can't fight that route. So the only fight for him to logically take is Daniel Dubois. Yeah, right. Kurt, if you're going to get paid $7 million to fight a heavyweight, who would you fight? Anthony Joshua. Yeah, I would fight him, but I want a percentage. I want 10% of the whatever the overall sales are. Yeah, yeah, I'd fight him. I didn't know Fish Eyes was from Germany. Yeah, he's not. Is he from Germany? AJ gonna knock you out in 2 minutes. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Not saying that I would beat him, but I would definitely fight him to beat him. So I wouldn't fight anybody to lay my ass down. I remember back in the day when I was younger, Mike was the man, and people like, man, you give me $1 million, man. I get hit one time and fall. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm gonna fight this motherfucker. You might beat you. Look. You need conditioning. You need physical attributes. If you believe you already had them, that's based on how good you do, with your conditioning, how well you're trained. What are you training for? What's your game plan? Those things I have to take into account when you're fighting anybody. Kurt, you notice how Haney being hit with same punch repeatedly. Yeah, they're gonna have to work on that because somebody like Lomachenko would exploit that, and he would hit him all day, and then pretty soon, if Lomachenko keeps doing it, he'll hit you. If he can hit you one place, he can hit you somewhere else. So he ain't gonna just stop with one punch with Loma. Hey Kurt, have you noticed Haney? Okay, gotcha. Ricky Torre, Mike Tyson, Bruce Seldon. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Kurt, it was Smith who said that. Oh, Tim Smith? Yeah, that old cocksucker. It's not pay-per-view worthy. Man, look, I'm starting to really dislike like the politics to the point where that shit gets so old. I mean, it gets so fucking old. It gets old. Yeah, Tim Smith. Or is it Tom Smith? I think it's Tom Smith, huh? How is Martin versus Ortiz or Tank versus CP? Well, I mean, Ashy Elbow, none of that shit's worthy of a pay-per-view. And then they want to just they want to lower someone else's standards for the sake of not having a fight. See, they can do that shit all they want. Yeah, Bob Saget, man. I heard that before I started a live stream, man. Everybody gives a thumbs up to Bob Saget, man. Yeah, man. I used to love Full House. Was it cut it out? Yeah. I hate that, man. And they don't know what happened to him. They said it was like no drugs or nothing, which I hope not. Adolf, where do you get hate from? Oh God, you guys. Renee Padilla, can you do an Errol Spence talking about Crawford from the one time for the one time? Um, oh, you mean when they finally they looked at each other and shit like that? Or oh, when they were like face to face. Man, on God, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you on God. And Terrence Crawford. Well, when you gonna do that? You said that. You said go get a belt, so I went and go get a belt, and you don't want to fight me. Well, you ain't on the list right now. Al Heyman said I fight Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. He didn't mention me, huh? No, he didn't. Oh God, I stopped Golovkin. I stopped Canelo too. Hell, I stopped Terrence Crawford. He liked my ass. He liked my ass. He little. Loke, rest in peace, Bob Saget, childhood memories. Man, no doubt. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how television like shapes your modes of your perception of like family and shit like that. That's why like shows like that, I thank God for them because they had positive um they had positive role models and positive stories that explained, you know, how a family should be, versus that. You know. Gary Garvey, big up Counterpunch. Renee Padilla Jr., appreciate that love, man. That with that dub. Haha, that Spence voice. Yeah. Spence beat everybody. Terrence Crawford, he gotta come to the other side of the street. See, Terrence Crawford, he fight for ESPN. I don't fight for ESPN. I ain't fight for ESPN. I fight for Showtime and Fox. I ain't fight for ESPN at all. Like, damn. Kurt, do you think Wilder beats AJ? Honest opinion. He could. You catch him with that shot and AJ never recovers. And then, see, here's the thing about Wilder, though. Wilder is like a rocket launcher. He's not a machine gun. Okay? You can call him a double barrel shotgun. Why? Because as soon as he shoots and he throws, that's it for a while. Wilder, if you notice when he hurt Fury, I seen that shit just like 2 days ago. There was never any effective follow-up on how Wilder did. Now, I gave him half-ass props of him trying to fight on the inside. I think it was the end of the 10th round where he came back on Wilder and starting to nail him with left hooks. He caught him with a right hand and he followed with a left hook. But I mean, other than that, as far as connecting bridging punches, he doesn't have that. Wilder has one shot shotgun like rocket launcher power. If he hits you with that punch, he has to recock. He can't just hit you and then follow up with a left hook, uppercut, left hook, right hand. He doesn't fight like that. He's all over the place. Look at his shots. I think what happens with Wilder, I think he's too emotionally invested. When he hits you, he's like, I got him. So you see him, his eyes will light up, his adrenaline will spike, and he's coming at you. But he's not coming at you with strategic game plan. He's coming at you with emotion. And then, so if it's either he can't put punches together, which I think, or he can't emotionally calm himself down to think about what he learned, think all that shit he did with Malik Scott, to properly put these punches together to get Tyson Fury out of there. Okay, or both. Ambos. Because he might not know how to do that, but then even if he did, he probably couldn't because, dude, I fucking got him. I've been waiting over a year, damn near 2 years to get this motherfucker, and I finally nailed him and I finally hurt him. I have not hurt this motherfucker since when? Since 18. Think about it. So, Wilder ain't that type of fighter. So, saying all that to say that about AJ. If he hits AJ and hurts AJ and he don't put AJ down, he just buckles him. Will he have enough knowledge, wisdom, patience to get AJ the fuck out of there? Could he do what Andy did? See, Andy, bam, 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 bam. Because Andy's a combination fighter. He knows how to throw combinations. Wilder's not that kind of fighter. Wilder sits back, got him. Then that's Wilder because he's too emotionally invested. I mean, Wesley, I just think about shit. I think about real life situations because Wilder is overall a one punch kid. Not like he's like a dude that you look. Wilder's the type of dude you want to be with in the streets, at a bar. Why? Because real fights don't last but about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That shit's over. Somebody's either gonna get waxed, back the fuck up, or step up. Knocked out, knocked down, get hurt, whatever, trampled. It's going to happen in a series of about 10 to 15 seconds tops. That's it. That's the only way that's going to go down. And with Wilder, you want somebody with you that knows how to hit somebody. Boom! He's out. He's out. Wilder got one of the biggest hearts in the heavyweight division. He weren't lying when he said he will go out on his shield everyone that has to give him that because he ain't easy to put away. No, he's not. That's kind of scary, though, because, I mean, if you look at it, because there's life after all this shit. Wilder, all them fucking kids he got, and he gets hurt, and he comes out talking like fucking James Toney, I would be sad. Because that money don't mean shit if you can't talk. You can't talk. And think of Wilder if Wilder was punch drunk. I mean, seriously, bro. I'm not fucking trying to play games. Wilder, imagine I'll fight to the death. I'll kill anybody that steps in my way. If I couldn't beat you, you gonna have to kill me. Right? So, I mean, I would hate to see that. That was a good price, Luis Ortiz fight. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like what, $30, $40? Wilder not only lacked combination, he also lacked footwork, ring IQ, stamina. He looked old against Fury. Now, the stamina problem, all he needed was to drop fucking weight. He should be 220. See, you can't brag about the power that you have and then start adding shit to it. Because that makes the power that you had, the God gift, less significant. See, people need to really think about that. See, I got God-gifted power. Dude, you were 209 pounds when you knocked out Ortiz the first time. And he was getting his ass whooped the second time. And they thought, well, he hit Ortiz. Well, think about it. He's hit Ortiz before. And Ortiz is an older man. Okay? Kurt, isn't it amazing how far Wilder was able to get being so limited? It is. It was. And he did that off power. It went to his head. He got his ass whooped for it. The end. That's all. Spent his peak years fighting Brazil and Ortiz. Well, he had to fight Brazil because the WBC wanted him to. He had no choice but to fight Brazil. Riddick Bowe versus James Toney. I think Riddick Bowe James Toney more technical, but see, that's exactly why James Toney should have never went to heavyweight. And if he went to heavyweight, he shouldn't have stayed there. He wasn't a big enough puncher to be respected. He wasn't that dude. He was a shoulder rolling guy. He missed and slipped a lot of shots. He didn't get hit like with a lot of. Well, he got hit with punches, but the perception of you and his defense had you thinking that he was this guy that couldn't be hit. But the damage uh, told you to tell. Usyk would school Wilder, by the way. I mean, he would school him unless he didn't get. See, it's not about beating Wilder to the in a boxing match. It's about doing the shit consistently for 12 rounds because you're gonna have to. Yeah, he whooped the old ass Holyfield. Easy BX. So fucking what? Knocked him out with a body shot. He fucked him up. I love you, man. I've been watching you since I was a kid. I love you, man. I love you. And fucking there, I don't know what happened. I was just trying to fight. And he was just too fast and too sharp for me. And then he hit me with the body shot. And down I went. The Mike Tyson that fought Spinks was bad, man. The baddest warrior gladiator. Yeah. Kurt Tank is a little punch drunk. Now, can you see it, or am I the only one? You know something? I heard that, and I'm glad you brought that up, Matthew. I'm not sure if that's because of that. If it is, he needs to get the fuck out of boxing right now. It's not for him. He's not meant to do this. He's meant to do something else. Get the money, take it, and do some investments. But if that is if that is the cause of CTE, okay, if he's punch drunk at this stage, he should not be a boxer. And I've heard that because he kind of talks slow. But maybe that's just him. Maybe he's not the brightest lad. You know, I know how does it. Floyd, he take care of me. He take care of me. So, you know, I got diamonds around my neck. So, you know, I'm gracious to Floyd. I'm gracious to Floyd. So all these other motherfuckers, bum motherfuckers, they just need to get where I'm at. But I kind of see that, and you know the same thing I seen in James Kirkland. You know, and James Kirkland, he sounded like that before the Canelo fight. How do you think AJ Usyk rematch will go? Usyk beats him. And, you know, and then, like, maybe, you know, yeah, man, if he's punch drunk, that's it. But, no, I think Usyk takes it based on what I see now. If I see something that's encouraging, because I like both fighters. It ain't like I'm shitting on AJ. It's just AJ, I don't think he really knew what went on. I don't think people told him what went on in his camp that he's staying loyal to. You know? Tank has always been a little punch drunk, it appears. Well, I mean, that's just him then. His personality. Who has a bigger ego, Larry Holmes or Lennox Lewis? No, man. Lennox Lewis probably. Because Lennox knew what he was always capable of, and I think he didn't get the respect that he felt he deserved. Which, I mean, I didn't like Lennox Lewis. I mean, I loved him as a fighter, but I hated him. You know, I couldn't stand Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was a big-ass fucking... You know, like, Lennox Lewis was like a big dope to me. Yeah, he could have done far with Ann Wolf, but I mean, some people have their wars, and I think the way they trained him to be a savage, and savages don't last long in the sport of boxing. Bigger ego, Trump or LeBron? I don't know. Probably Trump. Well, LeBron's is up there. Tank had too much gym wars. He's not a talker to begin with. So I don't know, man. I think that like Lennox Lewis, back to him. Lennox Lewis. And I mean, he kept kicking people's ass too. He beat Tyson. That hurt me. He beat Tyson. He beat Tua. I was a Tua fan, but I was I was a David Tua fan. Tua man, the Terminator, the throwing Samoan. Shh. Abatalua. Prime Larry Holmes or Prime Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson. What is your favorite dream fight from any era? I don't know, man. I got to think of them. But give me a prime Joe Louis versus a prime Rocky Marciano. I had a discussion with a friend of mine. He came over and shit a few days ago, and he was like, "Man, Rocky Marciano, man, he would have whooped all these dudes." I'm like, "Dude, Rocky Marciano wouldn't have whooped fucking dick. He wouldn't have whooped anybody. You know, you got a guy that retired at 31 years of age. He did that shit for a reason." Tua did have bricks in his gloves. Big bastard. But, guys, I thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to watch a little TV. I will see you guys tomorrow as time permits. This COVID, this is another day. I feel a little better. Still sweating, you know what I mean? But I feel good. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Of course, everybody, please subscribe. And everyone has been Counterpunch. Peace.